everybody, it's Skylar and I'm back again with another pregnancy update video. I am hoping that this entire video is not going to be in my car. I will put a clip of the ultrasound that I had a few days ago for the 29th week. It's actually like a 30-week ultrasound, or like third ultrasound, the last one of this pregnancy, unless they see any sort of complications, which they have not. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that clip right here.
See all that white spiky? See it right there?
So crazy that it's that early.
Yeah.
So much hair.
Yeah. Here's a little face with 14 other parts in front of it.
Is that like a direct look on the face?
Yeah,
Oh my
laying on its
gosh.
side looking right out at us.
That's crazy. I've never seen that in an ultrasound before.
Really?
It's always been profile.
Here's a little foot up here. Both little feet are up here, but you can get a footprint maybe.
Is she like head down?
She is head down.
That's what I thought. But I have been feeling feet way up about my ribs.
Yeah, you sure have.
I have been concerned about the weight because both of my babies have been humongous.
How big were they?
Well, my daughter was induced at 39 weeks and she was still 10-1.
Oh, wow.
38 weeks for my son and he was 9-3.
Huh.
So I was concerned and just kind of wondering, can we see the weight?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
one of the things I do.
They say they get bigger, but then Kyle's like,
Not
well, your other one-
always.
We said, well, your other one went down, so maybe you'll have an 8-pound baby. But he didn't really go down because he was induced a week earlier.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, you can have a 10-pound baby, so.
Uh-huh. That's true. They did have to jump on my stomach, but I was able
Oh, my gosh.
I was able to get her out without any broken ribs or hips.
Or shoulders on her,
Yeah.
on her part.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this little leg and the side of a foot, but there's 2 hands and another foot up there with it.
She, for the last ultrasound that we did, she had a little bit of trouble because the baby moved so much that, like, she was feisty.
Still a girl.
Good. I'd hate to have bought things and have to take them back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it happens to people sometimes.
That's sweet.
So crazy how developed. Goes from like a little itty bitty seed to this. That's like almost 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Is that chubby cheeks I see?
Looks like chubby cheeks.
I bet she'll be fat. My daughter looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Really?
So fat, yeah.
Oh.
She didn't even have any wrists or anything.
It went straight to hand, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Got that little hand right up in front of that face.
Oh,
Got her mouth open.
oh my gosh.
Isn't that precious?
Is that 3D?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And that's her little hand right out in front of her profile.
That's nuts.
Here's her little heart. .158 heart rate.
Can you also
Okay.
tell the level of amniotic fluid in there?
Yeah, I
too?
checked that too. That's all the recordable stuff that I've got that you can do. You have to check.
And so for the first part of this update, which if I didn't say already, this is the 29-week pregnancy update. I'm going to do that in the car, where I'm going to talk about like symptoms and side effects that I've had in the 29th week of pregnancy, which I turned 29 weeks on Monday. It is now Friday, September 18th, 2020. So however far along that makes me in pregnancy. My brain is fried, so I really just don't even feel like telling you I'm 29 weeks and however many days. I don't really think that matters that much anyway. We'll be 30 weeks on Monday, so you do the math. Anyway, thank you so much for your comments, for your prayers, for your kind words, for your compliments, for telling me in the last video. I read some of the comments, and a lot of you had said that you appreciated the raw and realness that I expressed in the last video, which the last video was a 28-week pregnancy update, and this past 2 or 3 weeks I've just felt so incredibly drained and so incredibly anxious, just so anxious, like to the point where I feel like I can't function. And so if you have not watched that video yet, go ahead and watch that video, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And I felt like I was doing the video, like when I was doing it, that it might come off as like really negative and that I was ungrateful, and that's not how I meant to come off. But to my surprise, a lot of you had said that that's the kind of video that you look for, because it is more real. It lets you know that you're not alone, and I really appreciated that, so thank you for saying that. I know Ashby and Amy Briggs had said a couple of really nice things, and a couple other people had like complimented the way that I looked and stuff, which in that video I felt like I looked like a hobo, so thanks. But anyway, so on to how I've been feeling this week. I'm trying to stay up to date with YouTube. I have been feeling pretty tired, not super duper tired like I was last week or a few days ago even, but I did get a really good night's rest last night and the night before that, so that was really good. But it's like an exhaustion. It's not like, oh, I'm just so tired, I just wish I could sleep more. It's like oh, there's a dog right here in the road. It's like an exhaustion that is really hard to explain, and any little thing that you do wears you out. And that's just how it is in the beginning and the middle and the end of pregnancy, but more particularly in the end, because you have a lot of weight in one area and all of your organs are moved around to different places. I'm out of breath. It's worse whenever I'm like laying down or sitting than when I'm standing up, because not everything is like scrunched in one place. So I have to like practice good posture. My back has been really hurting. I was thinking about looking into getting some sort of like belly band, but I just really hate spending money on myself. I know it would help me, it'd probably be worth it, but I'm so broke right now that it's just hard. And you know, if I do wind up having like $20, maybe I'll just buy. A couple people said something in this like thread that I read online that Amazon had a belly band for like $17.99, and it was like just for like the bottom, and it would like support, and then it made those people feel like tons better. And you know, I have to walk whenever I'm at work. I'm in my work uniform right now. I'm coming from work, going to pick up the kids from school, so that's why I'm doing this part in the car. So whenever I stand up at work for long periods of time, it's really painful on my back to hold that much weight in the front. I do plan on doing the belly shot later in this video whenever I get home or settled wherever I'm going to be, so stay tuned for that. Another thing that I have found that's happening to me the last week or even few days, I'd mentioned in the last video that I think the morning sickness was coming back, and that's why I felt like my blood sugar was like really weird and out of whack, because I passed my second glucose test. I failed the first one, had to go to the 3-hour and passed it, and you'll see a couple of weeks, well, I think it was like a month ago whenever I did that, and I did a video on it. So my numbers were okay the second time, so I don't think it has anything to do with like gestational diabetes, because they said I didn't have it, but I think that it's like back to the point where in the first trimester, for all of my pregnancies, I had to eat like once an hour or once every hour and a half, 2 hours, just something to keep my stomach full, or I started to feel really either number one, sick and nauseous, or number two, like I have no energy to go on, and like just real shaky and gross, and like my blood sugar is low. And so that's how I've been feeling right now, is that like my blood sugar is low and I have absolutely no energy. And I'm trying to eat better, more complex food that's not just like sugar, and you know, simple foods, and foods that last longer, and healthier foods, and you know, protein and things like that. But sometimes when you're a mom and you're pregnant and you already have 2 other kids, it's really hard to like eat I don't know, like a salad with meat and cheese and like you know, or a giant steak whenever you have to rush everywhere and you have other appointments for your kids, and then you have appointments for yourself, and you have to work, and you have this and you have that, and just there's so much. So it's really hard for me to eat a certain way, but I've been trying to eat better to make sure that it's not just me eating like crap and then it affecting my blood sugar. So I really think that it's like the morning sickness type symptoms coming back, and then the fact that the baby, I feel like at this point, since she is getting a lot bigger, that she is probably using more energy faster, and so I have to eat more to sustain it, and if I don't, then I feel weak and gross, and that's really what I think it all comes down to. I've had a lot of heartburn that kind of makes me feel like I don't want to eat, so it's been really hard. Anything that I eat, anytime I eat the last week, I have had horrible heartburn. I've taken like the maximum amount of Tums that I can take that it says on the bottle several days, just because I feel so horrible heartburn wise. And I don't know if you heard this in the clip of the ultrasound, but Tuesday the 15th, 3 days ago, that's when we did the ultrasound. And my main concern in the ultrasound was, how big is she? Because my other 2 babies were gigantic, ginormous. Lexus was 10 pounds 1 ounce at 39 weeks, and Bentley at 38 weeks was 9 pounds 3 ounces. So I wanted to make sure that they were not huge or measuring extra ahead, because I do not want to wind up having to have like an emergency C-section. So I just kind of wanted to monitor that. Plus Bentley, which was my last pregnancy, my son, he had a kidney issue, and so I think that's why this was this way. But he wound up at the last ultrasound, I was 30 weeks, and he had low amniotic fluid, and so they sent me to, and they saw the kidney issue, so they sent me to like a different medical clinic that did a more in-depth ultrasound, and they looked into his kidneys and the amniotic fluid, and they decided to induce me at 38 weeks, which my doctor doesn't like to do any sooner than 39 weeks unless there is a medical issue or concern, so I guess there was. So I checked, had her, let me know for sure, okay, the amniotic fluid level is okay, right? Like, I'm a worrywart, you guys know that. But our baby is measuring, well, she was measuring 3 days ago. She was measuring 3 pounds, 3 ounces. They did not tell me how long that she is. As I had said in my last video or two, my doctor has said, contraction. My doctor has said that we will go ahead and induce at 39 weeks if I don't go into labor before that, because my contractions are getting really tight. But because of the weight of my previous babies, we just don't want them to end up being like, or we don't want her to end up being like 10 or 11 pounds or 12 pounds, because Lexus was 39 weeks and she was still 10-1. So that's just a little bit of a concern, but that is the update on that. So this is actually a couple days later. I forgot to do the belly shot on that video, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I just woke up. My face is swollen because I just woke up, but that's normal for me. I'll go ahead and do the belly shot, and I think that's all I was gonna say on that. Okay, well, you can't really see because there's so much light, so that's not good. This is our playroom that we're turning into a nursery, so there's toys everywhere. Alright, baby is really low. I don't really know if that's normal or not, but I feel like I look like a whale. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I guess I'll see you guys in the next update. I think that'll be the 30-week update. I'm not really 100% sure. I don't know anything right now.